Hello everyone, my name is Birendra. I am the head of Sure Shot Means and Mentoring Program in Vajiram Ravi. Today we have with us Mukul Gaba. He has secured 494 rank in 2024. From last couple of weeks, one of the most common query which we have been receiving is how to complete the paper on time. And since Mukul has given 2 attempts, he was able to complete all the paper in both the attempts in the given amount of time. And it was not only about the completion, but he was also able to ensure the quality of the answers as well. So in this session, we are going to see what are the various scientific methods he has used. At the same time, he will also talk about the psychology you need to develop before the exam and during the exam also, right? So we will see, please watch this video carefully and sit with pen and paper so that you can write down each and every steps which we are going to discuss. I have also taken the feedback from many rankers who have cleared the exam last year in 2024 with Mukul, and based on that also even I have prepared some strategy which I have included or which I am going to club with Mukul's strategy as well. So I am sure if you are going to practice like 5 or 6 tests in next 30 or 35 days, you will see the drastic improvement in your answer writing, not only as far as the speed is concerned, but at the same time, you will be able to ensure the quality as well, right? So first, I will ask Mukul to share his strategy, what was the scientific method he has used, and then probably I will come and I will discuss the strategy based on the feedback many rankers have shared with me. So Mukul, it's your turn.
Thank you, Birendra sir, for the introduction. So I will be directly starting with the technique which was developed to complete paper on time. So as you know, GS1, GS3 and optional 1 happens between 9 to 12, and GS2, GS3 and optional 2 happens between 2 to 5. So irrespective of the time when you are giving test, for example, you are sitting with the test from 4 to 7 or 10 to 1, it doesn't matter. You have to set your analog clock. So you have to finalize the analog clock which you will be taking to the mains exam, and you have to sit with the clock and you have to set the time from 9 to 12, 9 to 12, 9 to 12, 2 to 5, 2 to 5, 2 to 5. So this is the basic criteria which you have to ensure while writing any test. So after this, there is a timetable which you have to adhere to. I have created this timetable, so which can be very helpful to complete paper on time. So if the paper is of GS1, GS3, so the first 10 questions are of 10 marker and the next 10 questions are of 15 marker. So in these questions you get 7 minutes, here you get 11 minutes. So when it is 9 o'clock, the first question should be done by 9:07. So after this you have to remember the table of 7. The second question will be done by 9:14, 21, 28, 35. 7 5 is 35, so it means 9:35 you have to complete 5 10 marker. After that 42, 49, 56, 63 and 70 means you are done with 10 markers by 70 minutes. 70 minutes means 10 10. So you have to remember this 7 table so that you can ensure that 10 markers are done by 10 or 10. Then after that in 15 markers you get 11 minutes. So once it is 10 10, the first 11 marker will be done by 15 marker will be done by 10:21. After that you have to remember like this, plus 1 plus 1. So in 21, in 2 you will add 1, in 1 you will add 1. Plus 1 plus 1, so 32, 21, 32, 43, 55. Then after 55 it will be 11:05. So means the first 15 marker will be completed by 11:05. So after 11:05, then again you will add plus 1, 0, plus 1, 1, 5 plus 1, 6. Then again plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So you have to remember this so that you can complete paper on time. So initially you have to ensure that you are writing 6 tests. GS 1, 2, 3, 4, optional 1 and optional 2 adhering to this technique. This technique will be used in GS 1, 2, 3, optional 1 and optional 2. In optional 1 you have to calculate because for 20 marker the time is 14 minutes. So you have to calculate on your own. So it might happen that if you are adhering to this strategy in first 6 tests, it will compromise with your quality. So Birendra sir will come and help you to how you can maintain the quality by adhering to this technique.
Okay, thank you, Mukul. So I hope you got the idea, the scientific method, but trust me, my friend, this scientific method even will change your psychology. Because if you know these numbers, for example, like 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, it is a kind of reminder, right? Like after third answer, if you think your watch showing 9:28, it means you are running late by 7 minutes, right? So this timetable is kind of reminder. But now the very important question comes, this timetable will not work if you do not have a proper strategy as far as the identification of the question is concerned. Because maybe you are not sure about the answer of the first question. Maybe you are not sure about the answer of the third question. So in that case, what should be your strategy, right? So let's talk about that. So for example, you have like 4 minutes or 5 minutes, right? Before you start writing the question paper. So the very first thing what you should be doing, right? Identify 4 to 5 questions. 4 to 5 questions in which you are very less confident, right? And it is not about less confident because you don't know. Less confident, especially on in those questions which are very, very static, right? जैसे कि यूपीएससी ने क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया क्रायोजेनिक इंजन के बारे में, डिस्क्राइब द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ क्रायोजेनिक इंजन. You cannot even apply the logic also. If you are not from the science background, you will not be able to think logically also. And this is also a static, and you will be less confident. So those kind of questions, I am sure you will find at least 4 to 5 questions in every paper. So first identify these 4 and 5 questions, right? Now, in these 4-5 questions, you have to make sure you should not give more than 5 minutes. At least minimum, like not more than 5 minutes. Or even in some cases, 4 to 5 minutes is even more than enough, because if I will give you like 20 minutes also, you will be writing more or less same content. So there is no point to devote more number of or extra time in these kind of questions. So whatever you know, just write it down. Use large fonts, diagrams, whatever you can, right? Don't focus on the content always. In these questions, draw diagram, right? Or you can talk about the government initiative. You can talk about any scheme government has launched for the space sector. You can talk about the achievements, right? So all these things we are like, if you're a part of the Rankers program, Sure Shot program, then we are already doing this in the brainstorming session in 1-to-1, right? But if you are new, then you can do like, this is not, I'm saying you have to bluff, you have to write relevant, right? So I hope this is clear. Now, the second part is very, very important, right? The second part is, for example, you have the timetable like 9 to 7, right? Then 14, 21, 28, right? For example, this is a timetable you have to follow. Now you know 4 to 5 questions you have to attempt either in the last 20 minutes, in the last 20 minutes or 25 minutes, or what you can do, for example, the first 2 questions or the first 2 answers you are able to complete on time. It is on time, right? But by the time you reach the 4th question, right? By the time you reach the 4th question, it's already 9:35, right? So by 9:35, ideally, आपके कितने क्वेश्चन हो जाने चाहिए? 5 क्वेश्चन हो जाने चाहिए, right? But आपके 4 ही क्वेश्चन हुए हैं, एंड यूजुअली इट हैपेंस, ट्रस्ट मी, द रीजन व्हाई इट हैपेंस बिकॉज you pick up those questions especially in which you are confident, and in first few answers you try to write everything. You try to give your best performance in these 4 questions. So by default the time will be you will take extra time. Now you have to think how to compensate the time right here only. अगर आप लास्ट के 2 घंटे बाद जाके रियलाइज करोगे कि यार मैं तो लाइक आई एम रनिंग लाइक 20 मिनट्स लेट, देन इट विल बी टू डिफिकल्ट टू कंपनसेट द टाइम. ट्रस्ट मी. आप 4th क्वेश्चन में ही आइडेंटिफाई कर लो कि यस आई एम रनिंग 5 मिनट्स लेट. नाउ व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, पिक अप 1 क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम हेयर, pick up 1 question from here and attempt that question after this and try to complete or write this answer in 4 or 5 minutes, right? So at least you are able to manage you are able to cover 2 minutes, recover 2 minutes, right? Again start with next 3 questions and pick up 1 question which you don't know. Again give maximum 4 to 5 minutes. And then this is how you will see after 1 hour or maybe 1.5 hour, you will be again on track. आप वापस ट्रैक पे आ जाओगे, right? So I think, but again, if you are not going to practice it in next 30-35 days, it will be too difficult to apply in the examination hall, right? So this is the best possible technique you can practice, and that is the reason we are going to launch a simulation rehearsal program, right, from 19th of July. So if you will have any query, you can fill the form given in the description box, in which you will be getting like 4-6 tests to write in the same environment, right? 9 to 12, then 2 to 5. So I hope this part is clear, but still, if you have any doubts and you are part of the Rankers program, Sure Shot program, please do not hesitate to drop me a message. Now, the next part is again very, very important, right? And that part is related to the ethics specific strategy, right? Because in ethics, we have a different set of questions. We have a case studies. Many students ask me, sir, whether to attempt the case study first, how much time we should devote for the case study, or whether to attempt the theoretical question first. So Mukul sir will talk about this. Mukul, please, any insight related to the ethics paper?
Thank you, Birendra sir. As sir has shared his insights, how to ensure quality and maintaining the speed. So I'll tell one thing about identification of the 4 to 5 questions. The main thing will be in GS1, the identification will be very easy because there will be some bouncers, which you know. For example, this year it was Twister, demographic winter. So you know, it is very explicit to identify some of the bouncers. In GS2, either it will be a factual question or it will be a very legal question. For example, this year Public Service Examination Bill. If you know this, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. So this thing will help you to identify these questions. In GS3, either it will be a science and technology question or it will be an extremely factual question. So this is how you can identify in GS1 to 3 the 4 to 5 bouncers which are coming. In GS4, there is no need to identify bouncers. I'll tell you the strategy for GS4 now. In GS4, it is very difficult to complete paper on time. So in GS4, you have to remember some different numericals to complete the paper. Once you are done with practice for 1 or 2 tests, it is very easy to remember them. In GS4, what you will do, you will get paper 5 minutes before. For example, the paper will be starting from 2 to 5, you will get the paper at 1:55. So in first 5 minutes, you will read the first case study and you will attempt it. So ideally, you get 15 minutes for a case study, but you will be able to complete first case study in 10 minutes. So you will be saving 5 minutes. What you will be doing, you will be reading that case study in 2 to 3 minutes, and then you will be identifying some of the questions, for example, ethical dilemmas, issues, introduction, conclusion, and you will be scribbling that thing on the paper itself. So the first case study you will be able to complete by 2:10. After completing first case study, you will jump to first question, theoretical question. So you will be completing the first theoretical question on at 217. Then again 24, 31, 38, 45, 52. This is how you will be proceeding with till sixth question. It will be 252. Then seventh question it's 259, 306, 313, 320, 327, 340, 334 and 340. So you will be done. Here it is plus 6. Just to ensure that you can easily remember the numericals of these case studies. So this is plus 6. So till 340 you are done with first case study and total 13 questions. After that you will be writing second case study in 355. So 340 plus 15, 355, 410, 425, 414, 455. So you are done with the completion of ethics paper by 455. So this is how you can complete the paper of ethics. So after this, one of the most important thing is whether you know the question or you don't know. You have to show that, you have to create a mirage that I know all the question. You have to show the equilibrium that I know all the questions equally, because the questions are more or less a 10 marker and 15 marker. So you have to create that mirage. So how you can create the mirage? First is you have to fill all the pages. Because if I'm filling 2 pages in some question, it might hamper my 0.5 marks. So you have to ensure that you are writing all the pages, 3 pages and 2 pages in 15 marker and 10 marker. This is very important. Then after that, in the questions where you don't know, the 4 to 5 questions you will identify. You have to fill the pages in these also. What you will do? You will try to write big so that you can fill the paper. After writing big, you can draw diagrams, maps, etc. For example, in GS1, when I was writing, there was a question on Aurora Australis and Aurora Borealis. So there is very less content to fill 3 pages. So what I've done was I've drawn 3 diagrams. In that, I have shown Aurora Australis differently, Aurora Borealis differently, and I have drawn the map of magnetosphere. So 3 diagrams. In that question also, I filled the 3 pages. So that is the main thing. You have to create the mirage that, okay, you know all the questions equally. Especially in these 4-5 questions where you have less idea. And after this, the last thing will be D-Day strategy. What you will be doing on the day of the exam. So the first thing will be warm up, because when you will be going to write essay, your hands will not work. It will take 5-10 minutes. It will take 5-10 minutes that you will get used to writing. So you have to warm up before entering into the exam. Before going to essay, GS1, GS3 and optional 1, you have to take a blank page and you have to write something for 2 to 3 minutes, so that you are paced up in a manner which you have to from first question itself. So this will be a warm up session, 2 to 3 minutes before entering the exam hall. Because save time is 8:30 to enter. You can scribble at 8:20 to 8:25, and then you can enter the exam hall. So this warm up is very important. There's no need to do warm up in the second session, but in the first session you can do this warm up. Secondly, in ethics, the main thing is, when you are going in the exam hall, before going to the exam hall, just brainstorm some 30-40 keywords which you will be writing in the exam, because those 30-40 keywords will be coming in your conscious mind from the subconscious mind, and you will be using those keywords in the real exam itself. So you have to write them on a paper. Take a blank paper, take 5 minutes and just write all the keywords. Keywords might include theories, thinkers, books, etc. So you can do this. After this, the routine. The routine will be like, in the morning you will be having a good diet. Before going to exam, you will drink some milk and oats. This is what I used to do. I used to drink half liter milk and used to eat oats, because the main thing about oats is it ensures the satiety, that you don't feel more hunger, and oats release the energy throughout the day. So that is very important. So you have to eat in the morning. You have to ensure a good breakfast, which is not heavy, but which is very energy intensive. After that, in between, you can eat something very light, and with the eating, you can have some energy drink, which will boost. You can eat chocolate, or you can drink any energy drink, which will boost your energy. After this, revision. Revision is very important, because all the things which you are revising, either you are traveling, when you are in bathroom or washroom, you are anywhere, you have to, and the last week, you have to ensure that every moment you are revising. Because if you are engaging in that intensive revision, those things you will be writing in the exam itself. So this last moment revision is very crucial. And the last thing will be the first 5 minutes utilization. As Birendra sir has already told, that the first 5 minutes will be used to identify the questions, 4 to 5 questions, which you don't know. You have to read all the 20 questions, you have to identify 4 to 5 questions which you don't know, and then you have to write it, as Birendra sir has told you. And Birendra sir is also is conducting brainstorming sessions regularly, so you can engage with those brainstorming sessions, because last year they were very helpful for me to improve the marks. And thank you. I hope this session will be helpful for you, and you will be able to complete the paper on time and will ensure the quality.